What's happening, boys and girls? How the devil are we? Shanksy here, and welcome back to everything you need to know about. And this time, it is the Marauders, baby. This is your life. Right, what is going on, boys and girls? How the devil are we? What is cooking? Good looking, and all that jazz. Today, we are going to be taking an in-depth look at the Marauders, everything you need to know about them, who counters them, where to use them, what to tier for, all that good stuff. So, without further ado, let's get into this. Now, it is worth noting to start with, guys, the Marauders are the team that Fox Next forgot. They just are. They've only got 4 members at the moment, and it's very, very sketchy who to use them as the 5th member. Now, let's start off by saying they are a war defense team, guys. If you are using these for offense, you're doing it wrong. All right, full stop. No two ways about it. Mr. Sinister gaining all of that stuff for war. It just makes so much sense. On war defense, Marauders allies gain 20% max health. Absolutely huge, making them a fairly tanky team. Again, with Strife as well, on war defense, gain 40% resistance. Mutant allies gain 40% resistance, gain 40% focus, and villain allies gain 40% focus. Now, these are actually the 2 main tier 4s that will make this an incredibly difficult war defense team. But who to use with them as their 5th member on that defense? Now, it is totally down to yourself. There are a couple of honourable mentions that do get used a lot. However, this space is really up for grabs. You know, if you've got a leftover decent character, you can whack them over there. Now, one of the ones that I like to use is actually Ultron. Ultron sitting in there, being villain, gets that extra focus. Obviously, then brings in a whole ton of minions and proves a real big threat. With the rest of the Marauders already being a big threat anyway, Ultron does make a lot of sense in there. The other one that you can go for that gets used an awful lot, I don't personally use him, but it's Kingpin, boys and girls. It is Kingpin. Maybe has finally found a home. You know, if they actually give him another trait, maybe that can match up with him a little bit. Cable is also a really good shout there. However, Cable will be moving off to the X-Force. So if you have been using Cable and you're looking for that long-term replacement for him, then Kingpin really might be the way forward. The reason for that, guys, is obviously just his kit. Allies turn, 5% chance for that ally to gain team attack. Makes a lot of sense. Boss's orders, apply defense up to all allies. Makes a lot of sense. Crime Lord, summon some more bodyguards. Type it does what Ultron does there, just nowhere near as well. And yeah, his basic doesn't really bring anything to him. But he is a very good idea there. You can also use people like Hand Sentry. I've used him quite a few times. He doesn't really bring that much to the squad. Just makes the team a little bit annoying. But they are good options, guys. But let's get into the actual Marauders themselves. And let's have a little look at their kits. So, we're going to start at the top of the shop, baby, with the main man himself, the OG, the one that makes this team rock. And that is, without a shadow of a doubt, Mr. Sinister. Cyanoc Beam with his basic is going to attack primary target plus 50% damage per non-cloned Marauders ally. So the more Marauders you got in there, the more damage that is going to do. Obviously, not cloned. So you can only literally get the extra 150% damage. But an extra 150% damage on your basic ain't bad going. But Gene Therapy is his special ability. This is basically his sustain move. This is what's going to give them a lot more sustainability. Transfer all positive effects from the ally Mystique to this character. Absolutely crazy as well. We know how many buffs Mystique can get in a real short space of time. Also heals all allies for 1500 health plus 15% of this character's max health, and it heals the clones as well. With that, you can clone anyone on the enemy team. Anyone. But keep in mind, this is a war defense team. It's going to select at random. This can be a little bit problematic if they attack with someone like an Ultron or something, Mr. Sinister loves it. He loves cloning an Ultron summon. He does. He loves it. So, can be a little bit problematic. Can trick the AI into cloning someone that you don't really want them to. And then, obviously, Mutant Geneticist is one that you could definitely look at tier 4 in. To be fair, this one as well is very tier 4able. Because this gives +1 ability levels for all of the clones' abilities. So very, very tier 4able. Very, very tier 4able here as well. On spawn, generate 3 ability energy for this character if non-cloned. On turn, heal 15% of max health, 5% of max health per Marauders ally. Apply regen to the 2 most injured mutant allies. So that is one thing that you definitely want to be trying to take advantage of. Using that mutant tag as well. Mutants, villains, all that type of stuff really does work there. On Marauder allies' turn, if this character's health is greater than 50%, give away. Just redistribute it. 10% of this character's max health to that ally. Pretty damn handy for them long fights. So it's very, very tier 4able. Mystique is an absolute beast on this team. She's an absolute beast anyway. She's one of them ones that I really underrate, and I think a lot of people do, until she kicks your ass. You know, you're like, oh, it's only a Mystique. And then next thing you know, she's getting like 37 attacks to your 1, and she's slapping you upside the head, and all of a sudden your full health bar has gone to nothing, and you're staring at a defeat screen when you were sure that victory was coming up. So, Mystique is a bit of a pain in the arse. If you are fighting these guys in war, guys, Mr. Sinister is your first attack. He's the first one that you need to kill. Mystique, make no bones about this, guys, is number 2. Only exception is if they've got something crazy like a 7 red star Sabretooth or something like that. But Mystique should be the target. Do not underestimate this girl. So Mimic Strike is her basic ability. Attack primary target for 190% damage. Bonus attack 1 to 2 times for 150 damage. Copy 1 positive effect and apply it to self. If Magneto is in there, copy 3 positive effects. What I'd really like to see is this skill changed, and if Mr. Sinister is an ally, copy 3 positive effects. I would love to see that change. I think that would be absolutely awesome, especially now that she is, let's make no bones about it, she's a Marauder, right? We've got the new mutants. I would love to see that change. I think that could make her an awful lot better as well. Infiltrate, attack primary target for 210% damage. If the target does not have stealth attack for 140 to 2 additional targets, attack all additional targets that do have stealth. So, pretty damn handy. Again, though, if you're using these as a war defense team, a lot of these skills you're not going to be able to see, right? This one, in my opinion, Shapeshifter is really not worth the tier 4s in, without a shadow of doubt. To be fair, I don't think Infiltrate is too worth the tier 4s. Saying that, I've just read this here. So if you go back down here, if no enemy had stealth, gain stealth, yada, yada, yada. If Mr. Sinister is an ally, flip 1 positive effect to a negative effect on each target. However, if Mr. Sinister is an ally, flip 2 positive effects to a negative effect. That could actually be, if you're looking at building a real disgustingly horrible Marauders team to attack, what you'd want to be doing tier 4 wise, in my opinion, is going boom clone, boom mutant geneticist, boom infiltrate, and I didn't think I'd say that. And then we'll have a little look. Subterfuge, not really worth the tier 4s, in my opinion. On spawn, always gain evade. Always assist on non-auto attack abilities. It's not terrible. It's not terrible. It's probably worth looking into, depending on how hard you're going for them Marauders. Right, Sabretooth is the 3rd member of the Marauders team, and he's also got a bit of a disgusting kit. Also, guys, this is worth noting. If you are struggling to get a hero, or to get anyone up to gear tier 14, Sabretooth is super cheap. I haven't done it yet myself. I've been tempted. I'm leaning towards it. He might not be super useful, but he is super cheap to get up there. Right, Claw Rake is going to be his basic ability. That's attack primary target for 300% damage. Tier 4s, you're never going to tier 4 this. 40% extra damage to primary target, just not worth it. Not worth it whatsoever. And keep in mind, guys, when they say like an extra 40% damage, it's literally like an extra 13% or 14% over the overall. It's really not worth it, right? Thrash is his special ability, and that is attack primary target, 390% damage. Gain, if the target has a taunt, it does piercing damage as well, which is why he can be a bit of a tank breaker, but I don't really think he's that much of a... Like, if you've got him high red star, he can be a bit scary, right? He can be a bit scary, make no bones about that. Blood Rush is attack primary target for 330, apply bleed for 2 turns, and this chains to 3 to 5 targets. This will basically bounce the whole way around the team. If Magneto or Mr. Sinister is an ally, this attack cannot be counter-attacked. So if you're hiding there thinking, oh, you know what, I'll counter that, no, you won't. No, you won't. Also, something to keep in mind when you're fighting them. Feral Healing is his ultimate, like his passive, sorry. Gain 5% damage per Brotherhood or Marauders ally. If Mr. Sinister is an ally, gain 20% crit chance. On turn, heal for 10% of this character's max health. When this character drops below 50% health, always gain death proof. 15% chance to assist on non-attack abilities. 15% chance to assist on non-attack abilities per Marauders ally. Pretty crazy, right? This one is actually well worth a look at tier 4 in as well. If you were building that steadfast, crazy Marauders team. Right, last but not least is Strife. He is the tank. He is their protector. He is the man that allows them to get out all that crazy damage. And this is his basic ability. Basically, it's just an attack. If the target has taunt, gain taunt up to the maximum of 3, and it clears taunt from the target. So he's actually really good at flipping those taunts, getting the taunts for himself, and really making it hard work for your tanks to actually keep that taunt up and keep that damage off your damage dealers. If Mr. Sinister is an ally, transfer 4 positive effects from the primary target to Mr. Sinister. Crazy. Superiority is his special ability, and it's basically gain taunt, gain deflect. Nothing too crazy there. And it also generates energies for the extra Marauders, which is really good. Now, this does start full, and normally you're going to generate energy for a team that's already full energy. It type of winds me up a little bit that it generates energy. I feel like that could be much better off doing something else. Because basically all the Marauders start full energy anyway. So you're generating energy for people that already have full energy. It's nice when the fight goes longer and it gives you that extra sustainability, but it's never really made much sense to me, that ability. This is his ultimate ability, and this is a real nice ability block. Not worth tier 4 in ever. Superiority might be. No, not really. It's going to give you an extra barrier. However, his passive is well worth tier 4 in, especially if you're going down that crazy Marauders thing. On spawn, fill speed by 10%, plus 10% per mutant villain ally. On turn, if taunting, gain 1 deflect up to a maximum of 3, and when allied with when an allied Mr. Sinister drops below 50% max health, he gains that taunt immediately up to a maximum of 3. Gain barrier for 10% of this max health. On war, he's given that extra resistance and extra focus to mutant and villain allies. Now, if you're going to tier 4 it, it's going to give extra resistance and extra focus, and it's a really solid skill. So we know they're going to go on war defense. We know what they're built around. We know how they perform, but who counters them? So first up on that counter list is your defenders. Now, this isn't a pure counter, guys. You are going to want to be punching down, and sometimes punching down fairly heavily to make this work. Now, keep in mind, for all of these counters, guys, Mr. Sinister is the target. Then it is Mystique, unless there's like a really crazy Sabretooth in there or something like that. But that is going to be your order. So the pun fenders will counter, but it is a bit of a punch down. Other options, and real solid options, guys, would be someone like Aimtron. Aimtron will do a really good job for you. Even just like straight up aim will do a job for you. But if you replace, normally on my roster, it's either replace Researcher. But if you replace Researcher or someone like that and get Ultron in the middle there, That is going to actually give you really nice punch-up opportunities as well. Fantastic Four, OG X-Men, Technova are all options. Supernatural as well. However, it is so important that you get rid of that Mr. Sinister, Sharpish, take Mystique out of the game, and you'll have a much easier life out of it. So, let's have a little look at them though. In Blitz, before we call it off. Now, we are on a super low Blitz tier, guys, because I've got to be honest, I am not going hard for a Night Nurse whatsoever. It's just not happening. Worst thing is I've clicked onto War there and all, not Blitz. That took an eternity to load up and I clicked on the wrong damn thing. What a whopper! Dear, oh dear, oh dear. So yeah, we're on a super low multiplier, guys. Normally, I'll put my hands up. Normally, I'd go through and do a bit more just for the sake of the video, but I can't be bothered. Can't be bothered. Don't judge me, guys. So right, what we're gonna do is we're gonna use the Marauders, and then we might replace Ultron. Maybe we'll replace Ultron with, because I feel like Ultron, whatever we do here is just gonna blitz through it, right? Whatever we do here is not gonna be wrong, because it's on a 1x multiplier. Like, we cannot lose this. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take him out, and I'm gonna show you with Kingpin. And I feel like Kingpin is actually probably one of the better options for this team, in my opinion. Cable's pretty nice as well. Comes in with that mutant side of things. But, wow, where is my Kingpin? Yeah, Kingpin is going to be there. The beauty about this is Kingpin may die, and then we actually get to show off the rest of the team. So let's go up against this team here. Well, let's go, baby. I need a coffee. Everyone's probably looking, going, he's got quite a lot of energy. I'm sat here going, oh, I need a coffee. Need a coffee. All right, let's go. So, always important to remember your turns as well. When you're doing any type of team, even when you're placing defense and stuff like that, you want to think about the team. As I say, this ability annoys the life out of me. Boom. We're going to gain the taunt. Beautiful. We need that with the tank. But we're going to generate energy for people that are already full. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. Right, so we go in with Trickery with Mystique because she's so super quick. We're going to go in there with this. Remember, can't be countered due to Mr. Sinister's on the team. So normally, where Rhino would have blocked that up and ruined our day, not today, sunshine. Right, now it's totally down to us. Who do we want to take? And we are going to take a Shocker. We've got a tank already. Vulture would have been a good pick. But I want to take the Shocker and see if we can get... Nah, that didn't work. I couldn't remember if Shocker gave offense up to everyone or if it was just for him. Like the Sinister 6 allies. But Shocker's going to still do a nice amount of damage. Now, keep in mind as well, that Shocker's power and red stars and everything like that is based off of our Mr. Sinister. So... this is, he actually made it to his turn. He's so slow, isn't he? Kingpin's so slow. But he's given us all defense up. But only Vulture left, as you can see. Ability block now as well. We actually blocked that. Got the assist though, and it's all over. Super strong team. Super fun to play around with that clone as well. And you can clone anyone in the game. Anyone in the game that you're fighting against, you can clone them, which is an awful lot of fun. He is Mr. Sinister himself as well, guys, is so worthwhile taking it up to gear tier 14. It's unbelievable. And as I remember as well, is Sabretooth is super cheap if you want to go down that road. Right, guys. Whew. That was a lot of information. I hope it was enjoyable. I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. If you have, do me a massive favour. Give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below, guys. I can't stress that enough, how much that helps me out, guys. Liking and commenting on these videos really does help. Costs you absolutely nothing. If you want to see more content like this, do me a favour, hit that subscribe button. Turn them notifications on. I do game reviews on this channel, raid content, Marvel Strike Force content, and pretty much anything else that takes me fancy. So, if you want to see some more from you truly, hit that subscribe button, turn them notifications on. If you want to talk to me in person, live stream links down below, Discord links down below, all that type of good stuff. But until next time, boys and girls, be smart, be strong, be safe, and I'll see you on the flip side. You, take it easy.